What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at Awakened Solise and how to get her, and then the best way to kind of optimize for getting her. And so first thing you need to do is you need to get to campaign level 2260. Jump to campaign. So you need to complete level 2260 to even be able to unlock the library. And so once you get that, this building right here will unlock, and you can click on here. And you will see that the library is looking pretty empty compared to what it normally does. But she will be right in here under Stellar Soul, and so you will find Solise right here. For Solise, to unlock her, you need 5 units that are Ascended or higher Wilders to unlock her. So basically, if you go here, you'll need to have 5 Wilders who are Ascended. So this is a pretty high requirement. You know, you can see I've been playing for probably a little over a month now. I haven't been focusing on Wilders as much as I probably should have, and I'm at 1 and like a half, I guess, if you combine these two. So that's all I really have that's built out is 1.5 Wilders. I would need to get 3.5 more to even reach here. As far as progression goes. And so it's going to take some time, especially for those of you who are kind of just wanting to build out a well-balanced team in Companions. If you are focusing just on Wilders, then that might be a little quicker, but overall, like, this is going to take a bit, which I think is fine. I think you don't need her to really progress in the game. I don't think you necessarily need her at the mid-game. I think you can make some really good comps without her, but obviously she's really great to have. One thing to note is if you look at the kind of descriptions up here, the tier of her, once you unlock her, is increased by upgrading the tiers of other heroes within the same faction. And so that's an important thing to note, and that was one of my first thoughts was, once you get her, like, how do you increase her star level, stuff like that. But it looks like you increase it by upgrading the tiers of other heroes, which is kind of fun. I love this way more than the time cards. It was just getting out of hand. It was getting crazy in the regular game with having a new Awakened hero every other week, it felt like. I know it's not actually that often, but it was just kind of crazy. Yeah, so there's just more information in general too, so this is just kind of a breakdown. As you can see, more Awakened heroes will be introduced. I think this is just a filler. I don't know if this is actually meant to represent a unit. But I think it's interesting that they have this here before even have any Light Bearers, Maulers, Graveborns, etc. Units. My guess is this is just a filler, though. I mean, it's the same exact outline, and I'm guessing they'll release different Awakened heroes in the other factions before a second one in these. For Taylene, you need 5 Celestials, same exact thing to unlock her. I only have 3 in the game. Like, this is something that will take so long. So it's definitely not a priority. Not something I think anyone should prioritize unless you would just have a lot of money to throw at the game. But this is something that you really want to focus on in the long term. And so I'm going to go over the most optimal way, in my opinion, to get to that 5 Ascended Wilder mark. So for those of you who might be newer to the game or haven't done a lot of things like Peaks of Time, this is your bread and butter. This is where you are going to be getting a lot of the specific scrolls for factions. And so if you look at here, you start to get faction specific scrolls every 15 stars. I mean, there's so many. And what you could do is you could literally save all of these and use them all on Wilders, which might make your builds overall on your team a little uneven towards the Wilder faction. But the good news is there are good units like Mishka, other units that can be pretty decent when built out. So it's not totally a waste. But if you use all of these, and you also get them as you kind of complete levels too, like on top of the stars. So you'll get a lot of these faction-specific scrolls by doing Forest Mania, and this is where you're going to get a lot of those summons. So if you do that, you'll get a lot of summons. That'll definitely buff you up. I would say, if we're just gonna look at my units, I would probably have closer to 3 Wilders ascended already if I were to have done that. But I spent a lot of mine on Light Bearers and Maulers, I think, which probably wasn't the best idea, but that's what I spent mine on. So, you know, can't change things now. But that's probably the most optimal way to do that. Another thing you could consider is, so when you have these Destiny summons, something that is kind of hidden is when you try to summon for a unit, you will not get the unit every time, obviously. And so you get the unit 2% of the time, but you'll get a rare hero of the same faction most of the time. And so what you can do is you can save these vouchers until it is a Wilder unit that is in here, in the Destiny summon. And so if you save it till it's a Wilder, not only will you get even more of these, but you'll get a bunch of rare units, which can be used towards getting those mythic or ascended leveled characters. And so this is another strategy I think you could actually, I mean, if I would have saved all of these from the beginning of the game, I would have had probably close to 300 of these, at least 240 for sure. And so this is another way to kind of optimize your way to get those Wilders for that. And then obviously just your normal summons. Hopefully you get lucky and get a higher rate of Wilders for some reason. But with all that being said, I don't think it's necessary to, you know, hone in on a Solise this hard. I think you'll get her naturally over time. Maybe you will save some of your faction-specific ones for Wilders, and that's fine. If you do, make sure you are building up decent characters, not just whatever ones you have, so you're not totally wasting it. But I hope that was helpful, guys. I'm really excited about this new Awakened unit option for the future. I think it's better than the current one. I think they're actually listening to what people have been saying and are just kind of tired of the old system. It's just so pay to win. It's just so like unforgiving, and this is just a lot more like enjoyable. It kind of gives you a goal. You know, as you are reaching this goal, you are getting good units as well, which I think is very underrated. Like, you're not just like getting 200 cards and only getting two copies out of 200 summons. Like, you're getting ascended heroes from going for these units. And so like you're getting a double win basically once you unlock her. You get 5 ascended and you get her. So like you're not like looking back like, oh man, I just wasted my money, or oh, I just got really unlucky. Like, it's actually like a win-win for players. And so I love this new system. I think it's great. Obviously they can't change it in the normal game because people have spent so much money trying to get those cards, but hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this game like I am. I really am enjoying this way more than the main game. I think I'm officially quitting the normal AFK arena just because it's not really my thing anymore. I haven't really enjoyed it for the past few months. But thanks for watching, y'all. If you have any questions about this, leave them in the chat. But feel free to like and subscribe for more content on AFK companions. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.